Hey everybody, Sean Sweeney here from S&J Lessons. Really appreciate the time you're going to spend with us this evening. I have a great guest coming on. I have Coach Noblet from Stetson University out of Florida, down in Florida. He's going to be joining. Coach Christoper will be here very, very shortly. He'll join us in I hope, in a couple minutes. We are about 7 minutes away from start time. But I always like getting on a little bit early and being able to update and provide you information around who our sponsors are and what they're doing and how their products work. So let me start off by first saying thank you very much to Sway Medical. Sway is simply an unbelievable tool. It's part of a concussion management protocol system. It is a balance and reaction test, all done off a mobile device. So you can do your entire team. It's very scalable. You can do entire teams very, very quickly and be able to get objective data on how that athlete is doing. So you can set a baseline for balance and reaction. If there's an event, you can take a look and see how that athlete looks compared to their baseline. Of course, anytime you take an athlete off the field or court or whatever they're doing, they're out for the day until they see a doctor and get medical approval to come back to play. But this does give your staff some good indications, if there's no red flags as to what's going on with that particular athlete, and leverage it. I've also used it for our high performance athletes. We're working with a bunch of goalies over at a local facility here, from NHL recruits to major junior A teams. They're leveraging it for performance. So what we're doing is we actually established a baseline for the athlete. Sorry, I'm just looking at the phone here. Perfect. So we actually established a baseline for the athlete, and then what that does is it gives us an idea of what the athlete looks like at any given time at their best, at their peak. And then we test the athletes, or the athletes test themselves prior to practice and after practice, so we can see exactly what's going on with them. And I'm just going to answer Chris here for a second. Christopher is going to come on here. Just say anytime. I'm just saying, going to tell him anytime I'm on now, so he can come in. Well, so we can start a few minutes early if that's okay with you guys. So Christopher's just hit me up on Messenger saying he wants to come in. So yeah, we tested before and after practice, and it gives the coaching staff a great indication of how that athlete felt walking into practice and how they were after practice. So you can see, if they came in before practice and their baseline's way off, and maybe they didn't get a lot of sleep that night. There could be a nutrition issue, whatever the case may be. You can start. You have, the system doesn't tell you that. You have to start determining that for yourself through questioning. And then, of course, again, if it's normal and the athlete goes through practice and you identify an issue on the other side, well, maybe then it's hydration, nutrition, maybe a slight injury. Again, you can start diagnosing and looking into that as well, your athletic staff. So very, very, very cool tool. The second test, like 90 seconds, like done, like, balance and reaction, and it's done, and they get a great indication of where they're at every single day that they're practicing. Now, you may have some athletes that are skeptical and don't want to see it. Like goalies get very, very superstitious. And if they do their test the day before a game and it's off, you may not want to show them. If it's on, you may want to show them. Then they go, oh, look at that, I feel good. The indication that we're seeing is unbelievable. We've also, and I'd like to thank my second sponsor. My second sponsor is a company called Axon Sport Performance out of Atlanta, and they have a tool that is called the iMile Pro. And the iMile Pro is a world-class electric muscle stimulation machine, and it's simply unbelievable. What John Williams has done with this machine is just incredible. And what we do with it is we take the athletes and we are activating their central nervous system, and then to validate that we're getting results, we actually put them up against a vision and reaction board, and then we can see the results going up. And so far, we're seeing dramatic results happening very, very quickly with these athletes. So unbelievable tool. It's called the iMile Pro. You can look it up on the Sport Ottawa website. That's Axon Sport Ottawa, or you can look it up on Axon Sport Performance out of Atlanta, Georgia, with Mr. John Williams. So unbelievable technology, and it just keeps. Sorry, I just got an email here. It just keeps getting better and better and better, and we're seeing tremendous results with the athletes, especially as we loosen them, and then we do the CNS activation. Simply awesome. Can't wait to see the results at the end of the month, but the goalies are loving it. So that's our second one. My final sponsor that I'd like to thank this evening is actually a company called Team X Solutions. It's an application for team management. Simply an incredible tool. It allows coaches, athletes, and parents to manage their schedules for teams to take registrations online, to create and set up clinics and events, and then send out calendars, and then internal communication is unbelievable. So that's a great tool in itself. But what they've also added is a complete tool for college recruitment for 23 different organizations. So right inside the application, the athletes can go in, they can see a list of schools, so if they're playing football or tennis or hockey, a list of schools that meet their criteria. They can see what the SAT score is required, the ACT score that's required, so they can see the schools that they fit in currently. And of course, we have the information as to how to contact the coach for that team, and we also have a link built in that allows them, or Team X has a link built in that allows them to put game film up and share with them. So Chris is just joining me. I'm just going to bring him in here now and prove him. It'll take a second to get on. Coaches to leverage. And again, so we'd like to thank Team X for being a sponsor of the show. We truly, truly do appreciate it. I'm just finishing it up, my friend. Welcome.
Hey, how are you, Sean?
So I'm just going to turn this up so I can hear you. I had it down low. Hopefully everybody heard me doing my sponsor pitch.
How are you doing?
Can you hear me now?
I hear you just fine, yeah.
Awesome.
You hear me well?
Yeah, perfect. So I'm just going to check the time here. We're just about a minute before, so thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it, my friend.
Yeah,
the season, it must have died down a little bit.
For us, yeah. Yeah, well, actually, I just came back from the Division II championship. My alma mater, Columbus State, was facing Bear in the final, and it was a nail-biter. We lost it by a few points, but it was fun tennis to watch.
I saw the post online. So, yeah, that's nice. So the coach has done an excellent job there building that program.
Yeah. I mean, when I play, we reached the semifinal, a few years back. But obviously, he's done an incredible job. They won the title last year and losing closely this year. But a great bunch of guys. And it's funny because I went to see the Division I semifinal, I think 2 weeks ago. And you see the same characteristic. The teams are very attached to each other. The guys fighting for each other, a positive mindset, aggressive games. They seem to win. Doesn't matter if it's Division I, Division II, Division III, probably. The same characteristic all the time.
Team, huh? Performance teams.
Yeah, very close teams. I mean, you can't win 3 or 4 matches in a row in hot Florida weather if you don't care for the guy next to you, because he's going to need your help, he's going to need your energy, and vice versa. So those relationships that you build during the year in those tough practices really make the difference in the tough moment, because you've been through it together. And you want the guy next to you to win just as bad as you want to win. And you need everybody to win that kind of championship.
It must be an awesome environment when you get down to the semifinals and finals of Division I and II and III.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Must be
Yeah. I mean, even Division III or NAIA, anytime you play for some kind of title, it is special in tennis.
Absolutely. I'm with you 100%. Hey, listen, my friend, I didn't get a chance. Normally, usually people have technology issues getting in. You were perfect, by the way.
Yeah, so, I'm glad. I almost screwed up, so I'm happy that I did not.
You were perfect, but I didn't get a chance to give anybody your background. So maybe you can help me out. Maybe you can give because what we do with this is, it's a new show. What we do is we boost it after, and we get quite a good audience. So I would love them to know about you first of all, and we'll kind of save the best for last. So at the end of the interview, we'll kind of give them an update of what you're doing with Stetson and what you're looking for in recruitment, and kind of give them a little overview for you. But at the beginning, maybe just personal, who you are, what you're doing, that kind of stuff. Is that good?
Yeah. So let's see. I'm 32 now. I've been at Stetson 6 years, 4 years as the men's head coach, 2 years before that as an assistant. And then before that, like I say, I played at Columbus State in Division II, and I helped also as a coach over there for a year. I'm from France originally. I've been in the state 10 years now, and I was 22. I had my bachelor in France. I was playing some tennis. I was coaching. I felt that there was more for me to discover. The French system, even though it's incredible, was not really my fit. And so I went to play college tennis to do a master's degree. I was not eligible in D1, so I had to go D2. Which ended up perfect for me because that was the right environment with the right coach. I met my wife in school, so that worked out as well. We had 2 incredible years, back-to-back semifinal. So I enjoyed that greatly, really learned a lot from Coach Isaacs, and that really pushed me to become a college coach. really gave me the sparks to see that it was the right fit for me. So I helped him out for a year, and after that, at the time, Pierre Pilote was the guy at Stetson, and he gave me a shot at being his assistant, which I'm forever grateful.
Nice.
And now, 6 years later, here I am. So
Yeah.
enjoying every minute of it. It's a grind. It's a tough industry.
Yeah.
It's not as glamorous on the inside as people think it is.
Yeah.
There's a lot of grind. There's a lot of hours. You really have to be passionate about it. But seeing those young men, evolve, grow to just become men altogether. They come
Yeah.
as boys. I mean, we got guys they're like barely 18 years old, 17 for some of them,
Yeah.
and they graduate and they really do become men. And it is a fun journey. Obviously, you hope to win some tennis matches along the way, but more importantly, it is about building men and really building them the right way and using tennis as a platform to do so. So, yeah, I'm just loving what I do, I guess.
That's awesome. As you're building men, what's your biggest challenge?
I think it's the journey. Sometimes you want to rush things out. Sometimes you want them to figure everything out right away.
Yeah.
But it's a 4-year journey, and some exceptional individuals will get it extremely quickly, but the majority, it will take them some trials and error. It
Yeah.
will take them to fail a few times, and it's fine. And you need to give them the room to fail, so that they can learn and hopefully apply better next time. But
Absolutely.
yeah, just being a little bit patient. It's not necessarily my best trait, but I'm trying to give those guys, as many chances as
From
possible
France.
to a
Come on,
certain
it's got to
extent.
be you must be patient. You're from France.
Yeah, I don't know if that comes with the territory. You'll have to ask my wife about that. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I think as a coach, it doesn't matter if it's college tennis or not. I think patience is part of the deal. Some people mature, sooner than others, and
Yeah.
you just got to be along their side and just show them that you support them from the beginning to the end. And as long as obviously they keep doing the right thing,
Of course.
but if they do, then you just got to be there and when they're ready, they're ready. You'll know it quickly. But if they're not, it's no time to rush. Just it's a journey.
Yeah.
It takes some time.
Yeah. And 17 years of old, 17, 18 years
Yeah,
of age, they have to adapt a whole new. They
yeah,
could be moving to a new state, new place. They got to adapt, right? That's
yeah. I mean, new
unbelievable.
state, new country
Yeah.
for some of them. I mean, I remember when I was their age, I was extremely immature. So I always tell my guys, hey, I'm super proud of you already because you've made a commitment to become better at an age where most of your peers have no idea what it means to be mature.
Correct.
So you're already a step ahead of the game.
Yeah. No, perfect. I know we're going to talk. I want to talk about Stetson at the end, but you're in specific. I know you're in Florida, but
Yeah,
for our loyal following,
yeah.
where exactly?
Yeah, so we're in Dillon, Florida, which is about an hour north of Orlando.
Okay.
Great town, about 35,000 people, 30 minutes from Daytona Beach. So great triangle between Daytona Beach and then Orlando. A great city. The school is really part of the city. We're next to the downtown, so you get a great, I like to say, a family feel.
Okay.
It's a private school. It's the oldest private school in Florida.
Okay.
We're about 130 years old.
Oh,
About 5,000 students. We have two other satellite campuses. We are quite famous for our law school, which is in Tampa,
okay.
one of the best in the
That's
country.
marvelous. Yeah.
But yeah, great school, private school, great education, great athletics, great environment. I think just a great product altogether.
Perfect. Awesome. We'll talk about more at the end because
Yeah,
I love especially for the athletes that are going to pop onto this over the next few days. They may be interested, and I love them to get a good feel about Stetson and you.
sure.
You know what I mean? One of the things I like asking, and you're my fifth show here, but one of the things I love
Okay.
asking people is really, and I don't know if I sent you this question or not, but it's about getting. I think it gives a great picture of who you are, and the question I'd
Hmm.
like to ask you is, if you could place a billboard anywhere in the world and be able to have a message on that billboard, and whether 1 million people see it or 1 billion people see it, what would that message you want to have out there and why?
I don't know. You should have gave me a weak heads up on that one. I don't know if I can think that quick. Um, I think
I've
at
had
the end of,
philosophical answers. I've had just do it.
yeah, yeah, no, no,
So
no. But I mean, I think at the end of the day is do something you truly enjoy. You know, you hear that all the time that, oh, you got to pick a passion and but not everybody has the chance to do to pick a job that they truly love. So I guess the way I would say it is do your best in what you have selected to do. Sometimes you get to select exactly your true passion. That's awesome. Sometimes you've been given cards where, well, it may not be the perfect job, the perfect environment, but whatever it is, you've made a choice to be there. You've made a choice to select that job, that environment, that whatever it is. Do your best at it. Do your best, and then maybe better things will come around. But I just don't enjoy people that constantly complain about what they don't have. You have what you have at some point of your life. Make the best out of it, and hopefully that won't last, and you'll move on to something bigger and better. But just don't complain about what you don't have. It will not make any difference to you. To the contrary, it'll make things work. So just do your best with whatever is given to you, whatever you selected, and just truly embrace it. You know, you going back to, let's say, Division 1, Division 2, junior college, NAIA, Division 3, you name it. Sometimes it's by choice, sometimes it's by necessity, sometimes by default that you end up in some of those divisions.
that's right.
Well, whatever it is, make the best out of it. You can be in the middle of nowhere in a division that nobody knows about. Doesn't matter. Be the best guy in that university. Enjoy truly what you're doing, and move on to bigger and better things. Or you can be the guy at the most popular school in the world. If you don't truly enjoy it, it'll be a nightmare. So truly enjoy and put some effort in what you do.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And so, you know, that what you talk about there to me is like, be present, be the best, be
Yeah.
present, right?
Yeah.
How much of mindfulness training do you, or if anything, do you guys do at school with the guys? Do you, I mean, you seem like you're going to talk about that quite a bit with them. Is that in fact true? Do you do a lot of mindfulness training, or do they do anything on their own?
Yeah, I think it's an interesting topic. We probably don't do as much as we should. Funny enough, in the fall, we had Stan Van Gundy, the famous NBA coach, that actually his daughter goes to Stetson, and he's a very big supporter of athletics. He came to one of our practice. He spent some time with us, and he talked to the guys about what he does in the NBA. He said, "There's no magic trick. There's no secret recipe about how to do things." But the difference between the good and the great at that level is the level of engagement they have in their practices.
Yeah.
Every single day they step on the court, they want to achieve something. They don't just go around and dribble around and throw the ball for no reason, because that's just called a workout, and you just go and pick up your running shoes, you achieve the same thing. If you step on the court, you want to achieve something in particular. So if that is the definition of mindfulness, we try and remind the guys at the beginning of each practice, at the end of each practice, what do we want to accomplish? Did we accomplish it? I think the best in the world do it without even knowing about it. It's just second nature to them. But for us mortals, I think we have to learn that. We have to learn to be engaged. And in today's society, when every 5 minutes you want to check your phone, you have notifications, it's hard to be engaged for 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours practice. It's extremely hard. I mean,
especially for
us,
young men.
yeah, I mean, men, women, whoever it is, we literally have a rule where as soon as you enter the gates of the practice facility, you put your phone away until you leave the gates and pick it back up. We literally have to enforce those rules, because if not, the guys 1 second before practice, they're on their phones, and 1 second after, they pick it back up. So you have to put boundaries where, okay, guys, I'm forcing you to be engaged, and then it becomes more and more natural. But now you see, you go recruit, you see guys practicing, each changeover, they're on their phone. It's unreal. So you have to put limitation to that, because if not, it just eats you alive.
It's tough though. You know, I had the same rule at the academy.
Yeah.
and I was watching. It was during the finals, men's finals at the end of the year at the O2 Stadium, and they always stream the live court, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we're watching practice. We're at the academy. I have all the guys in the dressing room. We're watching, and Veronica sits down, and he picks up his phone.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. And then we go to then we watch Murray the next round, and he picks up his phone as he sits down. I'm like,
Yeah.
you guys are coach.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
that's our rule.
Yeah. I mean, it is, and it's only going to get tougher because
Yeah.
this generation is addicted, and believe me, the next one is even more.
Yeah.
So we can use technology to our advantage, and I'm a big believer in that. But you also have to put boundaries because unfortunately, most of the times the parents did not do that.
Yeah.
So you're the first guy is going to tell them no,
Yeah.
and that's not always an easy
It's not easy.
conversation.
Yeah.
No, but you got to be clear about why you do it, and if they understand why and they see a benefit to it, it's much easier for them to embrace it. But yeah, if not, it just eats your brain alive, and
No.
you have to separate. You have to put boundaries. This is the time for tennis. It requires 100% of your focus, and then after that, it's time for something else.
Yeah, you can go and do whatever you need to do.
Yeah, exactly.
You get to be in charge of a lot of young men over the 6 years or 4 years full time as head
4 years,
coach,
yeah.
and six
Yeah.
full, right? So,
Yeah.
do you have any special videos that you like recommending, or any books that you like recommending that they read? And it doesn't have to be about tennis; just could be in life. Or is there anything that you give them, or would suggest, or like to suggest to them?
Yeah. So one thing we do on a very regular basis is that in our group chat, either on Facebook or it could be WhatsApp, Instagram, whatever it is, we send very short clips of whatever I find or anybody finds interesting, and we send that to the group almost, I would say, every other day during the season. It could be an interview, it could be a forehand clip, whatever has some relevance to something that we're doing. So constantly we're using technology to keep the people engaged. During the summer, what we do is we do video recaps. So just 1 minute short video about the week to tell us what cool things you've done, because for the summer we don't see each other.
Yeah,
Most of the guys are scattered around. So it's a great way to keep people engaged,
very interesting.
about the thing they're doing. And then actually this past fall, we made the whole team read a very famous book, not very new, Winning Ugly,
Oh, yeah.
from Mr. Gilbert, and it was a lot of fun because a lot of it is still very relevant to today.
Yeah.
He obviously uses example of guys that most of my guys never heard of for some
Of course,
time,
yeah.
but
The
what he
idea makes
talks
sense, though,
about,
right?
yeah, the idea still makes sense, and we had great discussions about some of those topics, and that's what Stan Van Gundy said. There's no secret recipe. Those guys at 18, they've heard everything by now.
Yeah.
They have not processed everything, but they literally have heard all the talks, all the technique, or they've seen it and they've heard it. Does not mean they have embraced or fully understood everything, but there's nothing you're going to come up there like, oh my gosh, I never heard that before. Most of it they've heard it, but it just hasn't hit home yet. So you have to phrase it differently, but there's no secret sauce out there. I don't believe that.
No, there isn't. Hard work, grind.
Yeah, yeah,
You know?
yeah.
And
No, I
Tina
mean,
just
true.
mentioned a couple good books here too. She said Mind Gym and The Mental. So,
Yeah,
The Mental Athlete. There it is. So she gave us both there. That's pretty cool. So
yeah,
that's
yeah,
something
yeah.
that Tina's
There's a lot of
recommending online. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of great books out there. There's a lot of great videos. I mean, I love YouTube. You find everything on YouTube.
Yeah.
I would believe if someone tells me he became a doctor just watching YouTube videos.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just there's everything on there. So if you
Well,
really, you go ahead.
I'll give you a quick story about YouTube videos. One of our coaches and players, you might know him, Jeremy Gibbons Snyder. He
Yeah,
was taking business at Ottawa U, and
yeah,
he goes, "Why am I going here? She just did a lecture in my business class that the guy did on YouTube.
yeah,
Why am I
yeah,
paying for it?
yeah,
You know what I mean? But
yeah.
now you have to go." But he goes, "It's there. The information's all right
No,
there."
I mean, absolutely. I mean, listen, when I was a player, what I used to do is literally watch YouTube clips of doubles play. I really enjoyed doubles in college, and I would just enjoy watching hours and hours of doubles. And I'm sure I picked up quite a few things just doing that on my own. So if you really engage in what you do in today's age, you have no excuse not learning about it.
Oh no.
It's literally at your fingertips and it's free.
Yeah.
So it's just you putting your mind into it.
The information's out there.
Yeah.
Out there. Speaking of free, what's I love this question. What's the best $100 or less investment that you've made over the last 6 months? And it could be for tennis, it could be personal, it could be for coaching. You know, it's up to you. You choose.
Well, I think I'll think outside the box on that one. It's probably buying something for my wife and make sure that my wife's, happy wife, happy life. So, if I had $100 to spend, I'll spend it on my wife. So, I make sure that she stays happy. I guess that's.
I'm going to send her a
that's all
copy of the video. I'm going to clip this piece right here and just send it to her.
Yeah. I mean, don't send it to her because she'll tell you I don't do it. But I promise you I do from time to time.
Okay. No, that's awesome. And then back to the books, there's an interesting one that was recommended to me when I first started coaching. And it was called, I don't know if you read it or not, but I'd like to get your thoughts if you have. It was called The Talent Code. Have you read that?
It does sound familiar. I did not read it, but I've heard about it. Yeah.
It's very interesting. It's Dr. Daniel Coyle. And
Okay.
it talks about, it's got 3 great sections in it. The first part talks about the mind and building the myelin. And the second part talks about passion and how passion, it talks more from a country perspective, like how golf caught on in South Korea and so on and so forth. And the third part is about world-class coaching. So what does a world-class coach look like? So I make my students read that so they know exactly how I'm going to teach. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So if you get a chance, it's a great book.
Okay, I'll check it out for sure.
I'll send you a copy. I think I have a couple copies.
Yeah, please. There you
go. You talked about failure earlier.
Yeah.
And I think as failure is just a huge part of life.
Yeah.
Right. So, your kids probably fail, you fail. But I would like to ask you a question. What failure have you had? And you can say, hey, listen, because of this failure, I've become this way. I've succeeded. Or in a, you define success. But what failure do you feel has helped you move the most?
Yeah. Well, I'll be honest with you. I think I fail on a daily basis.
Yeah,
it really is true because every night during the season I go to bed and I'm thinking, okay, I could have done this better with my guys today. And maybe it's me beating myself over and over, but I'm a true believer that if you only pat yourself on the shoulder, well, great from time to time, but really you have no incentive to change or to get better. But if you criticize yourself and sometimes pat yourself on the shoulder, I think it's a much better mix. So every night when I go to bed, I'm rethinking about the practice, the match. And I'll be honest, there is extremely few times where I'm 100% satisfied with every little things I've done or every words I've said. Yeah. Most of the time, I'm like, I could have done this a little bit better. And we're only talking about a few percent here. We're not talking about 50%. Yeah. But I'm just failing on a daily basis as far as my own standard and not reaching that 100% threshold that for me I consider the minimum. So it depends, I think, where you put your threshold. If your threshold is, as long as I do 50% of the job and satisfied, well, you're not going to fail very often.
That's right.
But if you put your threshold very high, well, you're going to fail more than you're going to succeed. But if you're okay with that, I think it's a great enterprise. So, yeah, I mean, I'm very honest and I have no problem saying, yeah, I fail on a daily basis, even though I try my best, but it's never perfect. And I think as long as there's always things to improve, that's what makes every morning great. Become like, okay, I failed yesterday, I can do better today, and then so on and so on and so on.
Yeah, great attitude. I love it. And I'm assuming that gets pushed off into the students, or that messaging gets to the students. And do they look at the day the same way? Because they're, you know how kids are, right? The ball goes, but do they look at the day the same way? Where, okay, how can I improve? Is that kind of the culture you're embracing for the team?
I think we're trying. Do they criticize themselves as hard as I do to myself? Not all of them. I think it's I think it depends on your nature, it depends on what you're willing to accept and not accept. Some takes criticism a lot more easily than others, just because the way they've been brought up, or
Yeah.
them, or just who they are.
Oh, we just froze, buddy. Yeah, you're back.
Yeah, no, sorry. It's notification. But we do something we try to do at the end of each practice is we ask the guys to tell us very quickly how they did and kind of grade themselves. Give us from 0 to 10 how you did. And I would say for very very much most of the time they are very honest. And when they're not honest, well, there will usually be some guy that'll tell them, what are you talking about? You are not an 8, you are a 6, or whatever it is. So I think they're willing to engage in that process. For some of them, like I say, it's natural. For some others, it's very unnatural, very uncomfortable.
That's true.
But I think it's the nature of getting better. If you think you're already a 10, what is the point of going back to practice the next day?
Yeah.
To
Yeah,
what?
exactly.
To be a 10 again? I mean, it's going to be very boring very quickly.
Go play Nadal.
Yeah, and the funny thing, if you hear those guys, those Nadal, Djokovic, Federer, you name it, they are the ones that tell you, I didn't play good this tournament. I just had to find a way to win.
Right.
They're the ones that tell, when you watch him, oh my gosh, he's unreal. But he will tell you, no, I didn't feel this right, or what, this wasn't good, but I found a way to win. And very, very rarely you'll hear them, yeah, my forehand was amazing, my serve was on fire, my legs were speedy fast. No, you never hear that. So if those guys are willing to accept failure and criticism, well, you better you better humble yourself down. That's for sure.
No, it's amazing. And for the tennis kids watching this, and maybe you'll agree with me, I had a good friend, Lindsay Lee Waters. She was 43 in the world at one point back in the day. And she's saying, we travel for 48 weeks of the year or 40 weeks of the year, whatever it was. He goes, you feel good 2 of them.
Yeah, yeah.
Something's always off. So how do you work with that environment? You have to win.
Yeah. I mean, it's you hear that all the time. I mean, I remember Jack Nicklaus saying that out of I think he won 25 Grand Slam in golf or whatnot. He said out of those 25, I played like crap 20 out of them, but I found a way to win.
Yeah.
And then, for us, we hear that all the time. Oh, I play good. I didn't play good. And that means nothing. Like we have to educate the youth in criticizing themselves much more objectively. Okay, you didn't feel good. All right, great. Well, how does that help us? What did you do when you didn't feel good? Did you try to put the ball a bit crosser? Did you try to move your leg? Whatever it is, you're making the observation. Fine, that's step number 1. Step number 2, what did you do about it?
Yeah.
If there was no step number 2, well, then what's the point? It's just, you're not a competitor. So I think it's an education, and some of them arrive in college and they're not ready for that. It's a very hard first-time conversation. Some of them have done it already. In the recruiting process, it's not the easiest to really decipher because, you're trying to dig deep, but you're not their coach at the time. So, it's a bit hard, but you're trying to see, okay, how are the parents acting? How is the coach acting with them, after the tournament, during the tournament? Is it always pat on the shoulder, or is it, the truth? And sometimes the truth is great, sometimes it's not so good. So you try to pick on that aspect, and the ones that are used to being coached hard for the right reason, I think those are probably transitioned to college a bit better.
Nice. You just had not too long ago, you just had a bunch of seniors graduate?
Yeah. We have a very young squad this year, and it was a fun journey to really use that opportunity as a blank slate, and kind of trying to use what we've learned for the years before that, and then try to reapply it and almost reinvent it in a way, because you try to keep what has worked. But you're also trying to make sure you adjust to the new population that you're facing. The new group, and every group is a little bit different. Every leadership changes from year to year. That's the fun part about college, is the fact that you're not working with robots. You're working with human beings, and young human beings. So you really have a chance to shape them up. And that's the fun part. It's not the easiest part because that takes time and effort, but being in that journey with them, that's fun.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, true. And so you've obviously had seniors graduate in the past. What kind of advice as a coach, as they're leaving, do you want to give them? What kind of partake, as they're going into the real world, what's the best advice you give them?
That nobody cares about your GPA. Um, uh, don't get me wrong. You need to meet a certain threshold, and my guys do well. I mean, our team GPA is always around 3.5.
Yeah.
But the difference between a 3.5 or 4.0 is in your head. Nobody will ever care to ask you what was your GPA in school. Doesn't matter if your first job, your last job, your 10th job, nobody cares. But the kids, all they care about is that grade because it gives them a sense of approval to their hard work.
Yeah.
And justifyingly so. But at the end of the day, this is the most overemphasized thing that will literally bring you absolutely no rate of return once you graduate. So what I try to emphasize is the fact that the hours you put toward your tennis, yes, they do matter for your tennis, in a vacuum, but they matter so much more because you're learning about life, you're learning about dedication, commitment, effort, togetherness, team spirit. I mean, you go on and on and on. Well, guess what? Those are the things that your employer will ask you. Can you
Yes.
work with a team? Can you stay late on Saturday nights? Can you come early on Monday morning? Can you deal with adversity? Can you commit to this project and make it happen? So every hour that you dedicate to your tennis, when things get tough, guess what? You're literally building your resume for the future. Much greater, much greater than what your GPA can do for you. Oh, I have a double major. Well, nobody cares about your double major. I mean, let's be realistic here.
Don't tell my son that.
Yeah, but it's just funny. It's just like they're emphasizing the wrong thing because society up to that point emphasizes the wrong thing. And then as soon as you graduate, now the real world does not care anymore. So for some of them, it's quite a surprise. So you're trying to prepare them for that and make them understand, hey, if you stay 30 minutes late after practice, you're not trying to make me happy or make yourself happy. You're building your resume because you're making a choice to commit to something and you're making a choice to trying to achieve it. Well, and guess what? That's going to be your job in a nutshell.
Yeah.
So
It goes
that
back to your billboard.
yeah, yeah. Just do your best in whatever you select to do. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. So it's the new season coming up. It comes around pretty quickly.
Yeah.
You're done. You're recruited. Everybody's in.
Yeah. I mean, there's always room for one more. I have a little bit of scholarship left, so I'm always looking for a good guy, a guy that fits the agenda that can play high for us, whatever. I mean, that's what we all do, coaches. We always looking for the next superstar in a way. But funny enough, when you talk about recruiting. One thing that I do emphasize now, or let's put it that way, I understand a lot more now than I used to do when I started, is the importance of character and the importance of leadership. Of course, you have to meet a certain tennis level, a certain grade level. Okay, let's assume that I have 10 guys in front of me that do meet those credentials. Well, after that, it all comes down to the character that I see in front of me. Is this guy going to right away be a leader? Is this guy ambitious? Is this guy going to be a troublemaker? Is that character is becoming so crucial because that if you get the good character guy, he can help you, and you also know that if you get the wrong character guy, he can put your name in the papers for the wrong reason.
Wrong reason, yeah.
So bad publicity is as important to avoid than creating good publicity for yourself. So character is a piece that I see some coaching, like in a high school level, juniors emphasizing. But I also see some coaching where they're like, well, as long as you pay me, I don't care how you treat me. And I'm like, you just failing the kid by doing that altogether. Because unless the kid is extremely rich, nobody's going to deal with you and nobody's going to care about your money later on in life.
That's right.
So character piece, I think character needs to be trained just as much as physical skills nowadays.
Perfect. And hopefully a lot of it's been, the mold's there for you as they're coming out of high school. So you can just keep holding it, right? And how, and this is kind of not on my agenda, I might go off a little track here, but how, when you're assessing a child, when you're assessing an athlete, and the player's as good as the next one, what's the separation in character? How are you telling the difference? Like, what's that, oh, this kid's got the character that's going to fit on the team? Because you don't get to spend a lot of time with them.
No. You never spend as much time as you would like to. I think for me, I like passion in the sound of your voice. Let's say I pick up the phone, call you, I come to see you live. I need to feel some passion coming out of you. If you're a charisma black hole, well, we're gonna have a problem because I'm a pretty energetic guy. I need some energy back. If I have to shake you up to get a pulse out of you, that's not gonna work with me. So I need to see life in you. So that's pretty easy to figure out. After that, I'm looking at body language. If I have the chance to spend some time with a kid in tournaments or at practice or whatever it is, I'm watching the body language. I'm watching when the balls go in the net, how do you react? I'm watching that when somebody talks to you, how much do you care? Body language says a lot, and it's very hard to fake. You can fake your words, but faking your body language, that's a different story. So
it's tough.
No, it's a lot tougher.
Yeah. We'll just wait. You must have a notice or something.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm now figuring what that pause is because it happened the other day to somebody. I'm like, oh, what's going on?
Yeah.
You're coming back. You'll be back in a second.
Well, I have to figure that out for the next Facebook Live, how to remove notification. But body language and passion to me are the two things I'm looking at.
Very cool. Very cool. We as I say, we're fast coming next year. What's up for the summer for you? What's the goal? And more importantly, for anybody interested in maybe meeting with you or talking to you, if you want to do that, how do they get a hold of you? Your summer, what are you doing, and then how to get a hold of you?
Well, I always feel that the busier I am in the summer, the more prepared I feel for the following season. I'm one of those guys that needs to stay busy, because if not, I feel like I'm falling behind. Even though I'm not, I feel like I need to do a little bit every day. So for us, being in the mid-major, you always recruit. Obviously, everybody does that, but we spend a lot of time with the scheduling. So scheduling 2 years ahead, that's mandatory nowadays. You do a lot of fundraising, a lot of alumni building. You do try to create something with the community. There's always administrative tasks as well. We host actually a ITS summer circuit tournament at the end of July. We actually giving away $2,000 in prize money as well.
Nice.
So that should
be fun. Are those UTR based tournaments, or are they just?
UTR based. So men's and women's, so that should be fun. A little bit of vacation, just 3 days here and there. I think that's important as well. But staying busy is for me, at least, that's the way I need to function. I can't take more than 1 week off, because my mind goes crazy after that. So maybe something I need to work on, but
No, why? I'm on the same page. Let's just get things done.
Yeah, exactly. So and then how to get in touch with me? I think social media is just the easiest nowadays.
Handles?
Christoper Noblet on Facebook. If not, Stetson Tennis on Facebook, and then Instagram, Stetson Men's Tennis. Just private message, and I'd be happy to talk to anybody within NCAA rules, of course. But I mean, I think for me, I'm having a lot of fun, trying to share the little knowledge I have, but also learn from others. I think we all dare to grow the game of tennis at every level. If I can inspire one kid to play a bit more next week, then that's awesome. If I can inspire somebody to go play another tournament, then that's awesome. I mean, what a great accomplishment. So whatever we can all do to grow the game and make people as passionate as we are about tennis, I think that's the name of the game.
That's awesome, my friend. You know, I met you a few years ago at a college showcase, and I
Yeah,
was very, very impressed with you. And
yeah,
it just continues. So I'm
I
hoping we
appreciate
can do
that.
this again.
Yeah,
I
anytime.
would love to put a panel of coaches up one day and get maybe 4 or 5
Yeah.
conversation and throw some different questions around. If you're up to that, I'd love to have you back.
Yeah. No, anything you want to do, anything we can help the game with him. I mean, I think you're doing an incredible job with your organization, back home, and I think anything to push the game of tennis. It's such a universal sport that we don't need to be in the same state or in the same country anymore to help each other.
No,
Uh,
no.
that's what it's incredible.
And same thing. If anything I can do for you, my friend, I'm all about it. So please reach out if you need me to talk about somebody in a nice way.
Okay,
Yeah, please
good.
reach out.
I appreciate that. I
So
appreciate that.
thank you so much for spending this time with us. We really appreciate
Yeah,
it.
my pleasure.
And I'm going to make sure that all that I'll repost all the information in the comments, and then
Okay,
we're going to boost this out here and get us a ton of views, buddy.
that's wonderful. I
Okay.
appreciate that, Sean.
Listen, thank you so much. Much
Thank you.
appreciated.
Take
And
bye
I'll
bye.
just see if there's a couple people watching. So there's one that
Okay.
there's nothing in here. Just some comments. I don't know if you can see the comments on your side, but
No,
Tina
go
said,
ahead. Read
yeah,
them
like
up.
athletes need to learn to self-analyze without emotion. I would agree
Yeah.
with that.
I
Yeah,
mean, yeah. I mean, analyzing yourself is not easy, but fundamental for sure.
yeah. And in Turi here, he says success is no accident. It's hard work, perseverance, learning, studying, sacrifice, and most of all, and I got to hit see more.
Yeah,
Uh,
love of what you're
yeah,
doing.
it's a big
Yeah.
paragraph, right? Most of
Yeah.
all, love what you are doing and learning to do. Yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful.
No, exactly. You made a choice to do what you do, then doing well.
Perfect.
You don't fake yourself out of it.
That's exactly. My friend, thank you so much. I can't wait to get you back on. And
Perfect.
I'm going to send this interview to you. We can download it via net.
Yeah. I'll post it
I'll send
up.
it to you.
Yeah.
Perfect. Awesome.
Yeah,
Thank
my
you so
pleasure.
much. This was
You
awesome.
take care, Sean.
Yeah,
Bye bye.
good. Bye. Thanks, everybody. Again, what I would love to do is just thank our sponsors, Sway Medical, for always being there. You can go back to the beginning and see what it does, but they're simply an amazing tool for performance, for concussion management. I would love to thank Team X. Team X is an unbelievable organization, an application for team management, but it also has, as I mentioned, all the college recruitment tools in there. So if you're an athlete in one of 27 different sports, you can get in there and see what schools fit for you, what the scores are for SATs, the ACT score, and be able to upload film and communicate with your coach. So check out that. And simply, thank you so much, everybody, for taking the opportunity to look with us. Get in touch with Coach. He'd love to hear from you. If you have comments, just put them in the box. And please, as you view this later on, like our page. We truly appreciate the support. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening. For our friends in the U.S., have a great Memorial weekend, and we'll speak soon. Thank you, and have a great day.